distributed generation companies in the markets across the U.S., which vary significantly in some instances, where you have traditional model with a utility that's vertically integrated. They're still involved in producing and selling generation. They still have rate regulation, and then distribution companies, which have rate regulation, but they're really only focused on the wires. And that's kind of the backdrop for the conversation I think we're going to have today. So let me just mention SEIA, because I think it gives you a picture of the industry. We're a longstanding trade association, kind of the equivalent to EEI on the solar side. We represent around 800 different companies in the U.S., from small companies that may just have a few folks that are starting up either a software business or a small installation company, all the way to some of the national companies that are publicly traded that you may have heard about. So our members consist of companies like SolarCity, someone who's here today from SolarCity. You may have heard about them. They're often in the press and media, and our national company, Sungevity, who is here with me upstairs this morning. SunPower is another provider. And then, of course, there are a whole host of manufacturers, investors, and financial entities that participate in the SEIA conversation, are members of ours. We're active around the U.S. The work that I do, which is at the state level, is mostly focused on a dozen states, and that's just a reflection of resource constraints. We try to help in other markets, but we're really focused on the markets that are expanding and growing and trying to change other markets and open them up over time. In the solar industry today, there are 140,000 workers involved in the solar market, and I think upstairs someone gave a comparison that I think coal industry currently has around 60,000 employees here in the U.S. So just to give you kind of a gauge about how many folks are really involved in the solar markets, those are direct employees. Let's talk about what's been going on in the market. Every year we do an annual report, and then we do a quarterly report with a partner called Green Tech Media. I encourage you to take a look at it if you're interested in the space. It's a really good way to assess the various markets in the U.S. and who's doing what and what's happening. In 2013, it was a record year for solar installations. 4.7 megawatts. Sorry, 4,700 megawatts, sorry, 4.7 gigawatts. New PV capacity was installed across the U.S. It covered a variety of different markets. As you can see here, California is consistently, or has been consistently in the lead, and that continued in 2013 in terms of new installations. But if I had another pie chart that showed, 5 years ago, California probably would have been 90% of that pie, and now it's it's getting down there, and other states are becoming new markets and expanding and growing rapidly, and we have more geographic variety across the U.S. These are PV installations. For those of you that are interested,